Hiya fam. Chapter 2, Part 6. Booyah. We are moving right along. You know what it is. You know where we are. You know why we're here. With a Vennstravaganza. If you don't know, I will link for a fun little intro that just has a method to the madness to let you know what you're in for. Let us begin by reviewing Inception Diagram. Links for everything will be in the place with the stuff if you wanted to see anything on an individual set. You will recall that the combined pigment list for the Jane Davenport Brights, Neutrals, and Glitz-Sea sets are the exact same as the combined pigment list for the Prima Marketing, Classics, Tropicals, Decadent Pies, and Pastel Dreams. If we add to that pigment list the PBK7, the set list will also include the Prima Marketing, Odyssey, Woodlands, and Essence. Given my A++ speed lately, we will probably not cover those in a video, but I will post those Venns and that info in my blog so that you can take a peek. Just since we are recapping, I will note that this was Chapter 2, Parts 1 through 3. Part 4, we combined all of the Jane Davenport sets. Here we are at 5. This is 5 through 8. Part 9 of this chapter is going to combine these Prima sets, and then Part 10 is going to be something. It's going to be a monstrosity. It's going to be very big. And then we're going to go from there. So it's the usual spiel. I will post the high-res scans of these pages onto my blog, but please do recall that I do not have these exact paints on hand. I'm using the closest duplicates that I have. Please take these color studies for what they are worth. Everything is labeled correctly, so it should all match up, but you know, we're working with what we got. The blog where these will be posted is gingersnaps@wordpress.com. I will put the link. And then these numbers are actually the numbers assigned by the manufacturer, so should be easy to follow. So let's grab our friend Mr. Black Square, and we can get rolling. So there are two paints. Excuse me. There are two paints that contain the pigment PG7, and they are Island and Palms. So Island is labeled as number 13, and it is just that single pigment, the PG7. And then Palms is labeled number 18. That one contains PG7, PB15:3, and PY14. And now there are no other paints in this set that contain PB15:3. And then there are 3 other paints that contain the pigment PY14. They are Tiki, Parrot, and Coconut. So Tiki is labeled as number 24. And it contains PR101, PY14, PR48:4, and PBK9. And there are no other paints in this set that contain either the PR48:4 or the PBK9. What is next? Next is Parrot. So Parrot is labeled as number 16. That contains PY42, PY14, PB27, and PR101. Next is Coconut. Now Coconut is labeled number 14, and that contains PY42 and PY14. And then aside of these, there are no other paints in this set containing PR101 or PY14. That covers it. So there are two other paints that contain PB27. They are Ocean and Hurricane. So Ocean is labeled as number 23, and it is just that single pigment, the PB27. Sorry, I am totally A++ with the coloring inside the lines jobs today. There we go. Next is Hurricane, which is labeled as number 15. That contains PB29 and PB27. Okay, just need to accept that I'm not A+ coloring in the lines today, because this is not actually helping. Okay, sorry. There are no other paints in this set that contain PB29. And now for the loosey-gooseys, if you will. So there is one paint that contains PO13 and PR112, and that is Hibiscus. Hibiscus is labeled as number 17 and contains that PO13 or PO13 and PR112. There are no other paints in this set containing either of those pigments. And then, so the last four paints are each the single iteration of single pigment colors, and then there are no other paints in this set that contain any of those pigments, if that makes sense. These are all one and done. So the first is Sunset, which is labeled as number 22. That is just the single pigment PR81. That's going to need more, huh? Come on. Second is Reef, which is labeled as number 20 and is the single pigment PV23. This water brush desperately needs to be taken apart and cleaned from the inside out, but I have not done that yet, so bear with me, guys. It's a little strong. That's okay. This color is very strong, very punchy. Okay, the third is Pitaya, which is labeled as number 19. It is just that single pigment PR57:1. And then last, that fourth color is Pineapple, which is labeled as number 21 and is just the single pigment of PY83. Alrighty, so this does put us on the home stretch. So from here, there are the Decadent Pies, the Pastel Dreams, and then the Prima Only Venn, and then the big shebang, the big monstrosity with all of the Jane Davenport and Prima palettes that we've looked at. To be frank, I've not worked out how to get that Venn to fit within the confines of this space, because this is the maximum space that I can display at one time, because the cat cave has knee walls. So I need to figure that out. It will get interesting for sure. So my question for you, my fellow mess makers, are you ready for this home stretch? Is there another brand or another medium that you are pining for a full assessment of? I will be honest, I'm not entirely sure where we go for chapter 3. There might be some random various acts of mischief as an interlude while I figure that out, and I will keep you posted. And let me know if there's anything that you want me to take a look at and put through the chats and graphs gauntlet, if you will. Okay, I will stop rambling now. That is it. Any questions, concerns, or sarcastic remarks, please do not be shy. Otherwise, until next time, take care.